Welcome back to T&L Food Channel. We are back again. We did make a video last weekend. I hope you did have a chance to go ahead and view that. It was done at a restaurant here in Fargo. Today we are going to go ahead and make for you the first video in our brand new apartment that we have recently moved into. We moved in here back in October. It's now the 2nd, I think, of November. Something like that. So we've been in here almost a month. We've been trying to get it set up for you, so we're able to make some videos here in the house, or the apartment rather. And so tonight we are going to make our first cooking video here in the apartment. I'm going to be making for you my special meatloaf. It is a meal that everyone in my family does enjoy. I know everybody does make a meatloaf. Most people have their own recipe. However, for me, I feel that I make a very good meatloaf. Everyone has told me that I do. And I will share with you how exactly I do that. I do feel that something important with a good meatloaf is the amount of moisture you have to your meatloaf. So I'm going to show you here shortly how it is I do prepare my moist meatloaf for the family. We do still have the girls, or some of our girls. If you've watched some of our other videos, you know that we did have 3 dogs. We are down to 2, and she wants to be a part of the video. Thank you, Princess. So we are going to go ahead and start getting our wonderful meatloaf supplies prepped up for you, and we will come back and show you how we put it together and cook it. Alright, so I have gone ahead and prepared my supplies that I do need for my meatloaf, and got all of my ingredients assembled for you here. And we're going to get ready to go ahead and start putting together our meatloaf. So one of the next steps that we need to do is preheat our oven. So I'm going to go on over here to my oven and preheat it to 425 degrees. Oops, I'm going down. Let's go up. You can get to 425 quicker from 350 going up rather than going down. Okay. We do now have our oven starting to preheat at 425 degrees. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I have a large sized glass cake pan here. My daughter actually bought this at IKEA and gave it to me for Christmas a couple years ago. If you look, you can see the word IKEA right there. No, this is not a sponsored video. I just thought I would share that. It's kind of cool. Then I'm going to take a little bit of Blue Bonnet butter and just kind of spread it on the bottom of the pan to use it as my grease for the meatloaf to help it not stick. Spread it up across the sides here. Just a little bit, just lightly, just enough to give the pan a little bit of coating there. That's absolutely perfect. Then we're going to take our ground beef. This is 93% lean, 7% fat ground beef that we picked up at Walmart. I think it's just over 2 pounds. Yes, just over 2 pounds of ground beef here. So we're going to go ahead and get that opened up for you. And once we have that open, we're just going to plop it in the pan because that's the professional way to do it. Once we get it in there, just get your fingers in there, get them a little gritty, mix it up a little bit. Then we're going to grab our friend's salt and pepper and just lightly season our meat just to get a little bit of flavor in there. Pepper always seems a little bit harder to get to come out for some reason. Then salt. Salt, just a little shake like that. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and mix that up a little bit more. Now, a lot of people tend to use crackers or breadcrumbs in their meatloaf. I use toast. And I find the perfect way to make the toast is to where it is kind of crisp, where you can hear it, but yet it's easy enough that it doesn't crumble. You can rip it into chunks. I do like chunks of toast in my meatloaf, and yet when you're ripping it, it's still crunchy enough that you do get some of those breadcrumbs mixed in there as well. Now with this much hamburger meat, I do have 3 pieces of toast. One of them, you can always crumble it up a little bit more, get some more of the actual breadcrumbs from the toast in there, and give it some chunks as well. As I said, I do like to have the chunks of the bread in my meatloaf. I think it gives it a nice texture in there. That's kind of a big one there. Let's break that up a little bit more. All right, and then once we get all 3 pieces of our toast nicely into our bread, we're going to use our eggs. And I do use 3 eggs in this size meatloaf. We're just gonna crack them right on in there. Then we have 3/4 of a large yellow onion cut up here into diced pieces. So we're going to put that on in there. And as I said earlier, I do think that putting liquid in your meatloaf is very important. I have 3/4 of a cup of just plain ordinary tap water. So we're going to go ahead and pour that on in there. And a cup of regular tomato ketchup. This is the generic tomato ketchup. You can use whatever brand or type of ketchup you like. This is just generic. As I said, again, Walmart brand ketchup. Now that we have this glorious mess in our pan, the favorite part of making the meatloaf and the best part is when you get all messy. You want to get in there and just smush and squish and get it all mixed up to where your egg yolks are broken up. Your bread is getting mixed into your meat. Your ketchup is getting mixed in to where it's kind of absorbing into the hamburger meat. Just perfect like that. Too bad Halloween has already occurred because it's nice and messy like Halloween is supposed to be, but we've already had Halloween, so that's okay. Then once you get it nice and mixed, you do want to go ahead and spread it out in your pan as best as you can, trying to make it as even as you can into all areas of your pan. Flatten it down a little bit. And once you're done doing all of that fun stuff, you want to wash the ick off of your hands. So we're going to go ahead and rinse our hands briefly. And the very last step I'm going to do before I do put my, actually let's go for 2 steps here because I did make a little bit of a mess on the pan. So you want to go ahead and wipe that up so it doesn't burn onto your pan. And then the next step I'm going to do is just go ahead and once again top the top with some salt and pepper. And once the oven does get up to temp, I am going to go ahead and put it in there for about 45 minutes at 425 degrees. So once the oven is at temp, we'll let you know and we'll go ahead and get it put into the oven for you. All right, our oven has just indicated that it has reached the temperature that we are wanting. So we are going to go ahead and put it right on in here, just like that, the middle of the top shelf. And we're going to go ahead and set our timer for 45 minutes and we'll come back and show you what happens at that point. So my oven did indicate that the 45 minutes for my meatloaf are done. So we're going to go ahead and open that up and take our meatloaf out. We've got some hot pads here to put it on. Look at how beautiful that does look with the nice little bit crispy top there. And you can see the juices in there in the meatloaf. Like we said, we do like a nice moist, wet meatloaf. So we're gonna let that cool a minute as our fried potatoes are finishing up. They need a couple more minutes. And then we'll go ahead and get it plated up, and we'll let you have a look and see how the meatloaf looks once it is on the plate. I do believe I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video that we are T&L Food Channel. So if this is your first time watching one of our videos, we hope you do choose to watch one again. Here are there's some little tiny red potatoes that I am frying up. We've got some flavoring on them. It's got a garlic, rosemary, something flavoring on there. And we're gonna go ahead and put some butter and sour cream on them once we get them on our plates, and they're almost quite done. And we'll come back once we get it all dished up. We have our dinner all plated up here. We have our beautiful meatloaf, some fried potatoes, and our salad. We're gonna go ahead and get our potatoes covered with a little bit of butter and sour cream, put some dressing on our salad, and enjoy our dinner. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video.